G'day guys, welcome back to another one of Nate's Centurion commentary videos. Give it a like, give it a share, spread it amongst your crew. Today Nate wants to talk to us about the Fermi Paradox.
Yeah, well, I've looked into the Fermi Paradox thoroughly because, as I've said before, I'm very interested in whether there are particularly intergalactic species, not just whether there are other species out there in the galaxy and the universe, but whether there are interstellar species that can travel between star systems. That's the really interesting question. And I've watched a number of people talk about the Fermi Paradox. I've watched physicist Brian Cox talk about the Fermi Paradox. And so I think a lot of people throw the Fermi Paradox around as if it definitively proves that there aren't any intergalactic species, any species that can travel between star systems. But that's not correct. The Fermi Paradox is not foolproof. What the Fermi Paradox basically says, it says if the galaxy and the universe is so old, it's been around for so long, and there's been so much time for life to emerge, and so if life is easy, why over all this time the galaxy has been around, and with all the stars and the potential planets in the galaxy, why don't we see any evidence of any visitations or any interstellar species? Why, if there's so much of an opportunity for life out there, then why hasn't the scenario unfolded where they've visited or we've seen them? Why don't we see them out there travelling around? Why don't we see any evidence of any interstellar? And it is about the interstellar intergalactic part. Why don't we see any evidence of any interstellar, any intergalactic species? Why don't we see them visiting? Why don't we see traces of them with our telescopes? So we don't see any evidence of intergalactic species. And the Fermi Paradox basically says, well, since we don't see them, and since they haven't come and colonised us, because the Fermi Paradox, people also say, it would take so long, so many hundred thousands of years to colonise the galaxy, but the galaxy has been around for billions of years, so why hasn't the galaxy been colonised if there are these interstellar species? Why aren't we all part of their empire? That's what the Fermi Paradox says, right? But it's not foolproof. It doesn't definitively say that they're not out there. There are also other ways you can think, and there is the dark forest hypothesis. Again, I watched physicist Brian Cox talk about this. So there is the dark forest hypothesis, and what the dark forest hypothesis basically says is that they are out there, these interstellar intergalactic species who can travel between star systems, but they choose not to engage with us for numerous reasons. They may feel we're a threat, or they may feel it's inappropriate to engage with less developed species, like in Star Trek, where they have the prime directive and they have a law that they don't engage with one planetary species who haven't evolved into space travel yet. So that's what the dark forest hypothesis says. They're out there and they may be everywhere, but they choose not to engage with us. Now, I think both are reasonable thinking. I'd be a bit depressed if the Fermi Paradox was correct. I'd prefer the dark forest hypothesis, that they're out there and that they don't want to engage with us. But I also want to point out there's like other levels of ways you can look at things as well. It's not this leap between being a one planet species and then being an interstellar species who can travel around the galaxy. There's steps in between. I can envision in 300-400 years human beings may have colonies on moons of Jupiter and other moons and planets around the solar system, and we may have mining operations in the asteroid belt and different things like this, and we may be a solar system species. We may have spread out throughout the solar system, and there may be other species at this present time right now who are spread out through their solar systems, but they may not have gone past their solar system, because it's a big step. If you understand how difficult space travel is, it's a big step from going around your own solar system to going out and stepping to another solar system, because the distances are so great. It takes so long, and the trip is so dangerous, travelling through the void of space to go from one star system to another. So there may be many species that are one solar system, and they have many civilizations throughout that solar system, and they may also have probes that are going between star systems. It's not this thing that they're 1 minute they're one planetary civilization, then all of a sudden they're intergalactic. They might be halfway in between, and they may have probes travelling throughout the galaxy. So we could easily receive a probe, as I said in my video about RV Loeb. So the thing is not to accept. The thing is to accept that the Fermi paradox is rational and logical, and it makes sense, and it's good reasoning. But that the Fermi paradox does not undeniably say that there is not interstellar species in the galaxy and the universe. There is also the dark forest hypothesis, and there are other theories as well. And you can go and watch some of the world's leading scientists on YouTube talking about this. So it's not coming from me. I'm not just making this up. I watch good content and I'm just regurgitating it for you from my mouth. So have a think about that and drop a comment in the comment section about what you think about the probability of interstellar alien life and lesser levels of alien life. Thanks, guys.